This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
All right, let's welcome in our friend Richard Davenport of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette and Whole Hog Sports. Richard, got a chance to hear from Al Walcott, Luke Has, and Trajan Jeffco last night. They all kind of said the same thing when it comes to playing LSU. They're excited. They're ready. Do you agree with John and Mountain Home? They're going to play up to their competition, have a good showing on Saturday night?
Yeah, I kind of feel somewhat like that. I mean, obviously what happened Saturday kind of, dampened probably the confidence level. It didn't. I mean, it did dampen the confidence level of the fan base. I get that. But at the same time, we really don't know how good LSU is. I mean, obviously they struggled against Florida State, beat Mississippi State. We don't know how good Mississippi State is, but playing in Baton Rouge is obviously any time you play in Baton Rouge, it's going to be tough. But this team has the capability of playing well. There's obviously some concerns on the offensive line that you have to be aware of, and sure try to scheme and try to play to your strengths if you're the offensive coordinator, and try to minimize the risk for KJ when he goes back to pass. But at the same time, I mean, I do think just the history of the series and still realizing that this team has some pretty good talent. I anticipate it being a pretty good game.
Richard, I wonder, following a loss like that and where there's a good amount of recruits in attendance, how do coaches communicate maybe Sunday or Saturday night differently than they would following a win?
Well, I mean, you talk up the positives, and you talk about how those kids can help you. I just tend to think that it's so early in the season, even though there's definitely some concerns that you as the coach you're talking up an improvement and progress during the season, and hoping that holds true. But even though obviously it was a loss, and that's disappointing. You always want to win when you have guys attending the game as far as prospects. But I tell you what, I mean, it was a great atmosphere, and the kids saw that, and they talked about that. And Bradley Shaw, who wrote about yesterday, the consistent four-star linebacker that Arkansas is definitely in the running for, out of Alabama, visited with his teammate Jeremy Cook, who's obviously committed to Arkansas. He's not one to really talk much about his recruiting process, and I reached out to him just to see if he would talk, and I was shocked that he did. And here's the reason why. He was very impressed with the atmosphere, he really likes Arkansas. Coach Pittman, Coach Williams, and the family atmosphere that he sees, and he has a great relationship with those guys. But he was really, really impressed with the atmosphere, even though it was a loss. So kids kind of know that, obviously you like to see a W. At the same time, there's going to be some losses here or there. But at the same time, you want to know that when if you have the chance to play at a school, you're going to play in a really good atmosphere, and Saturday night was that.
Richard Davenport and all of our guests with us here on the McClarty-Daniel Hotline. I know the Archers from Greenwood were there, and a lot of focus has been given to Kane Archer, the quarterback at Greenwood. But what about his brother Cash, the defensive end? What schools are on him, and what interest might Arkansas have in Cash Archer?
Well, obviously Louisville has offered him. That's his biggest offer. He's got a few others, but the interest level, I think they're still moderate. Just kind of looking at him first few games of this season, and then probably the rest of the season, and maybe they may want to see him in camp in the summer. I don't know the full extent of where he is on board. But obviously, when a guy's being as productive as Cash, and as far as tackles for losses and sacks and causing the issues that he is for opponents in very limited time, because he's only playing about a half of each game. And, I think according to Max Preps, he's leading the state in sacks. So, stuff like that definitely, keeps you on the map, and college coaches notice that, he's doing all of this in basically one half of each game.
The note that's been given to me a couple of days ago is he leads the state with 11 sacks, and that's 7th best in the country for whatever that's worth at this point. So,
yeah, well, obviously you get that many sacks in this early part of the season. I mean, a lot of guys get that, may not get that even the full season. So obviously he's very productive, and again, doing it in very limited playing time.
Richard Davenport with us here on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Richard, I asked this question following the Monday loss. You got one guy out of the transfer portal on the offensive line in Joshua Braun. Why do you think this staff didn't add more offensive linemen out of the portal?
Well, they did have Jaden Muskrat, the Tulsa offensive lineman, visit Arkansas. He made an official visit to Arkansas. He chose to Auburn. And they obviously got Amari Wiggins, the junior college guy. You could say he's, technically not a portal guy, but before the portal, you recruited junior college programs for immediate help. So they got 2 offensive linemen, and then their numbers are their amount of offensive linemen on campus is up, and they're retaining those guys. So I think that they felt like 2 guys, additions, older guys would probably do it just based on what they had on campus, and I'm sure that they might have went out after some other guys in the portal, but only 2 of the portal guys made it to campus as far as a visit.
I think this question has been asked many a times by fans. Richard, in your opinion, based on what you've seen, based on who you know as the head coach, is this offensive line fixable? Can Sam fix this season?
Well, the thing that you won't see is the guys that are there, their physical development. You're not going to see much physical development during the season, because obviously they're playing. They do lift weights just to maintain their strength, but you're not. What you have from a physical standpoint, you're not going to see any improvement from the physical part. Most of it's just playing ability of just getting out there and getting the experience and getting the chemistry with your fellow offensive linemen. Can they improve during the season? Yeah. How much? Time will tell. I think obviously the more experience that some of the guys, especially the tackles, get, I think they'll kind of have a little bit more confidence in their abilities, because from a physical standpoint, yeah, you would like to see those guys in their 3rd or 4th, 5th year instead of just in their 2nd year of being on campus. But at the same time, they do have talent, and you just have to kind of, right now you're just feeling some of the youthful pains that you see with a lot of younger offensive linemen.
Tommy brought up Cash Archer and Kane Archer earlier. Another kid that's really made an impact this high school football season is Shiloh running back and safety Bo Williams. What is his? I know he's a senior. This is from Hog Wild and Van Buren. What are the odds he could land a preferred walk-on invite to Arkansas?
I could see that if he wanted to. So some kids they want to go somewhere where they get their education paid for, and he's going to have that opportunity. He already has some offers right now, but as far as where his thinking is, as far as the possibility of being a preferred walk-on, I really haven't checked. I've talked to his dad, that really haven't even that hadn't even been discussed.
Well, it is week 4 of the high school football season. That means conference play for everyone begins this week. That I know there's a few conferences that have already started that. The 6A has some games already under their belt, and like 1 or 2 of the 5As. But for the most part, this is the big week of conference play beginning. Any players, teams, or matchups that stand out to you for this Friday night?
I'm going to defer. I've been tied up with basketball and football recruiting, but obviously the guys that are committed to Arkansas in-state, C.J. Brown is a young man who's been having a good season for Bentonville, and I'll tell you somebody that it won't be much of a matchup, but Mills and I was doing the schedules last night. Mills is playing. I forgot who they're playing. Forgive me, but anyway, the reason I bring Mills up is Charleston Collins, the defensive line commitment to Arkansas. My God, he's just having an incredible season. I think he had 11 tackles last week, five tackles for loss, a sack. Almost half of his tackles for loss. Almost half of his tackles are almost tackles for losses. He's in the backfield so much. 6'5", 270 pounds, and he's a 4-star prospect, and just having an incredible season. He last year I think he had 46 tackles for losses, but I think he's on pace to surpass that this year. So he's having a heck of a season.
Richard, we'll let you go with this. You mentioned basketball. Help me on this kid's name. Is it Aiden Cronsight, the kid from Rogers, 2026 basketball player that just got offered?
Correct.
Tell us about kind of his game. I know it's early. He's 26 basketball player, but 6'7", shooting guard out of Rogers.
Yeah, a friend of mine's been talking him up for the last 6 months, saying he has a chance to be one of the better prospects in the country, and he is rated a 4-star, about 247, and rated the 29th overall prospect in the country, and number 10 shooting guard. So from what I understand, I haven't seen him play, but from what I understand, he's pretty athletic. Both of his parents went to the University of Arkansas. His dad played basketball at Arkansas. His mom was a volleyball player at the U of A, and his older brother is a pitcher for Xavier. So a lot of athleticism in that family. Then obviously 6'7", about 175, but can evidently line it up from outside and has the ability to go to the basket. So a taller guy who looks like he's going to be get taller, because his brother I think is about 6'8", maybe 6'9". So he could grow a little more, but. I just know that a buddy of mine just has been high on him for the longest, and obviously he comes from a very athletic family and a family that played as far as his parents played their sports at a pretty high level.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.